and today's top 10.
Okay, video heads, welcome to another installment of MANTA'S Video. I, in fact, am the proprietor of MANTA'S Video, and I'm excited to bring to you episode number 3, where we got something going on real good. We got the Bromantic flicks, brought to you by himself, my homeboy for a long time. I love him to death, my man, The Prolific. What's up, brother? Yeah, so like I always do. Yeah, I know, it's been a minute. We're going to get right into it. So what we got here is, talk to me about how you came up with the Bromantic flicks. What's up with that?
So, you know, when bros is like close, they call it a bromance. I didn't want it to seem too like top black films or something like that. So I had to think of something that was like not over descriptive. So I just said bromantic. Romantic.
Okay. That's what's up. All right, so look, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start off with your list. So we're basically going in chronological order with one of the oldest movies on here, and that's our boy. We know Eddie Murphy. Get him in. What are we talking about?
Coming to America.
Oh, yeah.
And we got like 2 Eddie Murphy flicks on this list, and both characters are very different.
Yeah, they are, in fact.
And you know what I mean? Coming to America had that Afrocentric, proud, wealthy, rich. I mean, it had our boy in it, John Amos. You know what I mean? So it was like the changing. Like, it had some people from back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was like the new and the old being all mixed in.
Yeah, I like that.
That was back still in the 80s where we had Jerry Kill going on, the Soul Glow and all that kind of stuff. And, you know what I mean? It felt so good.
Yeah, and the way Eddie Murphy, that's like one of the earlier times when Eddie Murphy started playing multiple characters in movies, way before Tyler and Medea and all that stuff.
That was good. Yeah.
That's good stuff. And of course, his boy Arsenio Hall, like we mentioned, that we thought they would have been on their way to some type of Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis type thing.
Yo, at that time, I thought that was the beginning of like we were going to see many bro flicks, with them.
Yeah.
So
we only got a couple, so it turned out whatever. But Coming to America 1988 was the bomb.
Yeah.
And once again, speaking of Eddie Murphy, we got the next movie on your list.
Oh, well, the next movie is Boomerang.
Oh, yeah.
And Boomerang was romantic, and it was funny. It was like one of the first rom-coms for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and it was fire. We had Halle Berry. Halle Berry was in there. And what was the flick right before Halle Berry was in the flick before that? What was that movie called where she was in it? And that's when she first was bad.
Babs?
No, not Babs. Not Babs. But she was in that movie first, and then she was in this movie. And this was her movie where she just, like, became... She was already a woman in the last one, but, like, this one was where we realized she was just, like, could play that role. You know what I mean? Not the supportive cast, like, because her character kind of came out of nowhere because we had Robin Givens, who was, like, his main interest.
Right.
But then he ended up with her. And, like, this is a fire sign film, like, Eddie being Aries, Halle being a Leo, and Robin being a Sag. Like, it just had that warmth and pizzazz to it. And it had Grace Jones, and then it had our boy.
Our boy Godfrey Oldemuk from James Bond,
yeah.
Song Day.
And it had what was it?
P. Peoples was in that too. He had a small little role on that. Melvin.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that said that's the shadow.
Martin was in it.
Martin was in it for a little bit. Yup. David Allen Greer? Oh, yeah. Loaded.
I thought that they was going to, like, they were almost like the Brat Pack.
Yeah, they could have got something going on.
You know what I mean? They could have did, like, more movies together, because they had so much going on in there. Layla Rashawn was in there. Tisha Campbell was in there.
Yeah, she had a little part there.
Everybody was in that joint. And that was just, like, that movie was everything. And, like, they were really dumping on that film when it came out. Like, the critics.
Yeah, they do that.
Because... Remember when that film came out, Distinguished Gentleman, Eddie would always put out 2 movies at the same time.
Yeah.
That was like a lesser one that wasn't as successful, and then they was trying to like dump on this one. And you were talking about the last movie you saw at where? What was that movie, the last theater you saw? Because this was the last movie that was at Pensacola and Mart. Like, I saw that.
The theater there.
Yeah, I didn't see Boomerang there, but I remember it was playing there because I was there to see another movie.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's 2 back-to-back classic Eddie Murphy movies. Okay, now, what's our number 3 movie on your list there, Sean?
Love Jones. And that's starring Lorenz Tate, Neil Long, Isaiah Washington. and Lisa Nicole Carson. Whatever happened to her?
Oh man.
And our boy Bill
Bellamy, of course. Yes.
Yeah. So that was like the beginning of the neo soul era, and that soundtrack is just like priceless. Everybody was on that soundtrack, and that sort of like introduced the neo soul era to like everybody. Like before that, it was more like underground, but this soundtrack had everybody involved in that. Wyclef, Maxwell, Lauryn Hill, rest his soul, D'Angelo, and everybody was on that. Michelle Ndegeocello, oh my God, she's like the godmother of neo soul. So that film like reflected that, and that was the era like where poetry, spoken word was coming out. Like it's just it was just so like eclectic and like it was so soulful and like earthy. And it was us in our prime. We was just coming out of our 20s, and we were in our 30s, our early 30s, and it was just us being, really bold and confident and like stylish and sexy, and that's everything that it was.
Yeah, it was a good movie like that. It wasn't a comedy. It was really kind of just about those guys coming of age and doing their thing. It was all
really
about
romantic
movie.
It was like the romantic stresses of young adult life.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it was.
Okay, and then what about your next movie here? I believe that's number 4. What are we talking about there?
That was Soul Food.
Soul Food, yeah. We used to on that joint, yeah.
But like I said about Soul Food, I dedicate that. I designate that film as like the Thanksgiving film, like for us to watch. Like, because it's about family, it's about food, and, it has all the drama that we like, and, it has both eras. There's parts of the film where, they reflect in the past, and then they bring up to the present. It's about family, how family's tight, but how family can betray. It's just, it has all the elements of, like, a black film, that it has a wedding also, like, surrounded it. It starts with a wedding. And it's really good. Like,
really family-based stuff.
Yeah,
really
yeah. It was really, and the cast is, like, fire. You know what I mean? Everybody in the cast. They had early. What was his name in there? Boy. What's his name? He played Lem, and we loved him in there. Oh, there's Mekhi Phifer.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Mekhi was real back then.
Yeah, he was.
And like the guy who played Lem in the TV series, he did a good Lem too. Like,
like you said, they got it right on both castings, right?
So it's like that film was like really good. You know what I mean? It had a young Vivica Fox. She was just coming off of Independence Day. Mm-hmm. So that was just
she was hot. She was in demand right there.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Okay, well that was cool. And then now we'll go over to our next movie, number 5.
And that's The Wood. The Wood. Like, see, The Wood was good. Wood was my favorite up until that point.
Right.
But the films that came after The Wood became more my favorite.
All right, I understand that.
What we love about The Wood is like the reunion sense of it. Like everybody coming together.
Yeah, I'm all about that old school reunion type stuff.
This is like the first wedding film of that era. You know what I mean? And we had, I used to always see Lisa Ray in the magazines. But this is like the first time I seen her in a film, and she had a cameo in it.
Yeah, it was a short role, yeah.
You know what I mean? And we saw Lorenz Tate, and we had a couple other actors who were in the coming movies that we're going to talk about. And it's like, and you said it before, like all these actors in all these films playing different roles.
Yeah.
But they all feel familiar.
Yeah, they were the cream of the crop at the time. They was young, up and coming. Some of them had already had a few movies under their belt and whatnot, so it was good like that. Yeah, and The Wood, man. That's good stuff. That's a good movie. I seen that. That's one of the few movies I seen by myself. I was waiting for a friend of mine to get off of work, and I went to the theater down in Ben Salem and watched it, and I was thoroughly entertained by that. Speaking of being entertained, just like you said, one movie's good, and you go to another movie, and that movie kind of trumps that, and that movie becomes a little bit better. And we're talking about your number 6 selection,
which is my favorite, and that's The Best Man. And The Best Man had Taye Diggs in it again, Nia Long, Morris Chestnut, Sanaa Lathan, Terrence Howard.
Yeah, we ain't talked about him really, but Terrence Howard was crazy, man.
Yeah,
man.
Monica Calhoun,
mm-hmm.
Regina Hall. Everybody was in that, and I loved it. Harold Perrineau.
Perrineau. Yeah. We like merch. Merch been floating around for a minute.
I was merch.
Yeah, you was merch. Wait a minute. Yeah, you was merch.
I was merch. But that movie, the brotherhood in that movie, and you know the coming film we're going to talk about is called The Brothers, but the brotherhood in that movie was just we like to see that, like, you know, and that's why the film came back in the Best Man's final chapters, and you know it had 2 other sequels after that, but well, actually Best Man Christmas, which we should all be watching.
We should be watching this time of season.
That's right, yeah. We got it. Look, if BET was what it should be, that should be on. You know what I mean? Right now, you know
rotation,
how they, you know, back in the day how they put those seasonal flicks on. That should be on right now. But yeah, The Best Man, my favorite.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of The Best Man. And matter of fact, we have a local lady in there who had a little cameo in there. She did a little something doing her little dance.
That's right, Willowboro alumni Angela.
Yeah, and we love that. When that's actually the movie that made Candy do like an electric slide type joint, a cameo.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that kicked that off when people started doing that at weddings and stuff. I love that. I love how that joint transitioned into that.
And that's funny because at the time, Candy was still an oldie at that time.
Yeah.
You put that in there, that just put us back in the high school spirit.
Yeah,
because that's when Candy came out.
It gave it a resurgence.
You know, so that's what was nice about it.
Yeah, and then so The Best Man was great, 99, and we're going to move on to your number 7th pick, which you just slightly spoke on.
Yeah, and that's The Brothers. And that's another film with Morris Chestnut, because Morris Chestnut was just like supreme in Best Man, and then in The Brothers,
yeah,
he was just...
He came a long way since Ricky getting shot in the alley.
Yo, he's coming to his own, you know, because he was in a film that was going to be on this list, The Inkwell. And that was like a young Morris Chestnut. But he always played like that mature role. You know what I mean? So he was in that. But we had D.L. Hughley in this. Bill Bellamy again. Shamar Moore.
Everybody loves some Shamar Moore.
Gabrielle Union. Guess, you know, she was just coming off of... She wasn't coming directly off of Bring It On, but that was the last time we saw her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is when she was playing like a mature...
A mature woman now as opposed to a girl, basically.
Yeah, right? And then... who I couldn't remember.
You got to give you a shout out. Oh, you got 2 people. I'm gonna give you the one person, which is Julie
Clifton Powell.
Well, Clifton Powell.
Clifton Powell is the name that was escaping me before.
Okay, yeah,
you know what I mean? Clifton Powell played his ass off in that.
You give me a Clifton Powell, or you give me like a Keith David, and I'm in there. Those are 2 black hardcore mugs that I love. Yeah. Clifton.
And Tamala Jones, she was good in there too.
Yeah, there was too many people.
Yep.
And a small shout out to our girl, since we love Dexter. That is the one that had Julie Benz in it.
Oh, yeah.
We like Julie Benz from Dexter.
She's not in this.
She was by the way, but like you said, she was working it.
Angel Brooks was in that movie too.
Ooh, we loving The Brothers.
Because she had to lay Angel Brooks out.
I remember that.
Angel Brooks, we all last saw Angel Brooks in Martin when she was Martin's ex-girlfriend. All right, remember that? Hello, can't you go? Okay. So that was like, that film was just off.
All these movies got good niches to them that you like.
All these films have that taste and flavor, you know what I mean? That just made us feel seen at that time. You know what I mean?
Because
that's
what
we
talking
was in our
about.
prime.
Right.
We was in our prime, and it's just like when you see these people age, that cast held up though. Everybody in that cast held up.
Still rocking and rolling.
Yeah, everybody held up in that cast.
Yeah, so now we got your number 8 selection here.
And that's Two Can Play, and that's another Vivica Fox film. Yeah. I even think Vivica produced this. Like, she became a producer by this time. And, you know, Morris Chestnut and her in it again.
Chestnut's
and your
the
boy
man.
Anthony Anderson, Gabrielle Union again in it. You know, and your boy Wendy Rochelle Robinson.
Oh, yeah, the game and everything.
Tamala Jones was in this again.
And what's my other name?
Bobby Brown. Bobby was in it. You know what I mean? So.
Oh wow, that just made me think of another movie. Of course.
I'm just saying, like, everybody was in their. I can't stop stressing that everybody was in their prime, and it was good because these movies all came back to back. They were all within like 3 years of each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so everybody was hot. Everybody was hot, and like they capitalized on that. You know, that was right before. So the other 2 movies that are coming, like the final, the one that's the honorable mention, that kind of like capped it off, that era.
Yeah. Now, Two Can Play was a good movie, decent movie. But this next movie was my movie because you know, people, I'm a hip hop head. I love hip hop. And when did you first discover hip hop? And that was in this movie for some people. And this movie was
Brown Sugar.
You know that.
And Brown Sugar had Taye Diggs in it again. Sanaa Lathan in it again. Our boy Mos Def.
Mos Def.
It had Nicole Ari Parker. You know, she was in that. Who later played in the Soul Food series. You know, so she was in it. And Boris Cujo. They were both together in the Soul Food series.
And then they wind up married. Yeah. That's what I thought. That's
what this whole bromantic thing is about. Yeah. People meet, you know, on cast and they get together. Latifah was in this too.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Ali.
Yep.
You know, coming off.
Matter of fact, because Mos Def was trying to push up on Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
But he ain't know how to go about it.
That's right. Yeah.
And you had Ren and 10, the dog. Those boys, the hip hop Dalmatians, yo.
Yeah, it was good. And then we had Tatiana Ali. She was still, you know what I mean? She was still young, perky. She's
perky. That's a good word.
Good.
Yeah,
she still looks good now. I'm just saying, she's like she was still in the Fresh Prince era.
Right.
You know right.
So, Brown Sugar definitely comes highly recommended on my list. That's a good movie. Thoroughly good movie. But we rounding down to number 10. Number 10
one on the list.
Yep.
Is Deliver Us from Eva, and that's another Gabrielle Union flick, and that had Dwayne Martin in it.
Oh yeah.
It had Essence Atkins in it. It had Ronnie Lee. Robini. How do you say that?
I don't know who that is.
Megan Good.
Okay, let's move on to Megan Good.
She was still, you know, Megan held up. I can't say, you know, she was still, because she still is. You know what I mean? She ain't fall off at all. Megan hasn't fall off. You know, that fire Leo, and you know, Ella, of course. You know.
Yeah. That movie, that movie was good. Like they casted that movie well, and it was nice to see LL in that kind of role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not used to that. You're used to seeing him in that type of role. He is LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool J, but you know he was always doing some fire and brimstone type stuff. But now he was like, "Yo, I'm in the type of movie." He was smooth, yo.
You know that's one of his only romantic films that he was in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He was in the other hardcore stuff, you know, and he never really, he didn't really ever, except for one movie he did with Omar Epps, you know, that movie where he was like the gangster joint, but it'll come to me.
Yeah,
but that's the only time we've seen
In Too Deep.
Yeah, Into Deep. That's the only time we've seen, like, you know, L and anything else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, that was a good list, Prolific. But let's get in a few honorable mentions. I may have one that fits in your criteria, and then what do you got going on here?
Well, the final one kind of caps off that era. And that's Why Did I Get Married, which had a sequel, but like, and not many people. I don't even think Why Did I Get Married had a totally separate cast from all the other movies we just mentioned. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was a Tyler Perry production, and none of those actors in that movie were in any of the previous movies.
Yeah, that's probably like the only one where there was no type of like zigzag and whatever.
Yeah. And it came much. That movie was 2007. The other movies were between 2000 and 1999.
90s, yeah. 90s,
so this came a lot later.
Yeah, that's why it's the new age joint. And wait, is that the one that Janet in?
Yeah,
Janet Jackson.
Yeah,
man,
Janet Jackson's in it.
I can get down with Janet.
Yeah, you know they had a great cast. Jill Scott.
Yeah.
You know.
And like I said, if I was to mention another movie, I'd mention the one like Loving Basketball. I kind of like Loving Basketball because that's Omar Epps and Sanaa Lathan trying to unite and whatnot. And as a matter of fact, you have somebody else we didn't mention in Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks was in that movie. She was the one that was going to get married to Omar.
Oh.
And then, but you know, and then it was trying to mess up the Schiffer role and whatnot.
Okay.
So that was a pretty good movie. You know, Dennis Haysbert was in there.
Here's the thing, like in Why Did I Get Married? The only one who was in that cast from these previous movies was Richard T. Jones, who was in The Wood.
With The Woods, Richard T. Oh, all right. So he was in that movie. Okay,
he's the only one.
All right,
he's the only one left. You know what I mean? And all the other ones, you know, everybody else moved on to other stuff. And like this is the beginning. This was the dawn of the Tyler Perry era. You know what I mean? He started his shows started taking over TV. Films started going another direction. You know, so the Bromantic films were kind of over with Why Did I Get Married?
Yeah, well, you know what? With that being said, I'm sure there's a lot of other movies that we can throw in there. We might have to make another list of certain movies, like
oh yeah, there's plenty of
honorable mentions, and even just good black movies like Poetic Justice and Sir Waiting to Exhale. Yeah.
Everybody, that era was so jam packed with the movies was just coming out back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? It was wonderful.
All right, well, yo, that was good, man. I enjoyed talking about those movies because I've seen mostly all of these movies. I did see all these movies. I had a great time talking about them. I like to thank my man, The Prolific, for coming out. And, yo, as usual, you know, I am the proprietor of this establishment and the curator of Camp Crystal Lake. Thank you for enjoying us on this installment. I'm the Black Manta, and I'm out.
Peace.